Hello, friends. Welcome. I'm glad you're here with me today. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday afternoon. It's probably afternoon in some places. It's right about noon here in College Station, Texas, and we're having a kind of a humid, hot, not quite rainy, but looks like it's going to kind of day here in College Station. So I am happy to be in my craft room, and I'm looking forward to doing some ombre stamping with you. So one of my favorite things to ombre is a butterfly, and let's go ahead and change our camera view, take a look at our project, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so here are my cards that I made today. And like I said, a butterfly, one of my favorite ways to make a butterfly is to do the ombre stamping. And I think just making it darker in the center and making it lighter as it comes out just gives that illusion of movement in the wings, that the wings are higher up than the body. And it just gives a really fun look to your butterfly. So let's take a quick look at the products I'm using. I'm going to be using the butterfly set, and this one is in the last chance, so I'm only going to be using the stamps, but this set comes with dies and it comes with the hot foil. When I say comes with, I mean it's available. They don't all come together. They're purchased separately, but they're all available. So that also has the hot foil plates, and the same dies cut out the foil plates and the stamps. So this is a really fun combination to have, especially for spring if you enjoy butterflies. All right, then I'm also going to be using this is a newer die set, and it is called Fun with Words 2. There is a Fun with Words 1, and this one has a lot of kind of different kinds of words. You know, it's got wishes and shine and party, fairy, cutie, magic. So it's got a little more whimsical words compared to the Fun with Words 1. So this is a great one to have. And I've also brought in the sprinkled scallop dies. All right, so you can see here on my originals, I made these in warm tones, but for today, I have pulled out a color palette for us, and I went with some cool colors. So we have some teals, we have some blues, and we have some greens. And today I'm going to be using Catherine Pooler ink, but any inks that you enjoy using are perfect for this. Now, the one thing that I find easier when you're ombreing a stamp, let me grab it again. A stamp that are these sizes. I like using the minis or the little cubes. They're a little easier to manipulate than, you know, the great big stamp pads. The regular size, I should say. Now, if you're doing a big, large background stamp to ombre, then using the bigger ones are fine. But I find with this technique, it's a little easier with the smaller pads. So I have gone ahead and prepared my Misty. And we are going to start with the largest butterfly. Get him out. All right, and I'm just going to quickly turn it. And I didn't really decide which color I would do this larger one. And I'm just going to make sure he's centered there. And I have cut my paper size down to fit right inside the sprinkly part of my scalloped sprinkled piece. So that's the size. I will measure that for you when I lift it up. So I think let's start with the blues. Now, besides my smaller ink pads, another thing I like to have on hand for each of my color families is a finger dauber. And I will show you why. So I'm going to start with the darkest and work my way out. There we go. And just very... Oh, did you see what I just did? I forgot to close the door and pick it up. Okay. Working with a Misty here. Let me get that centered again. All right, now close the door, pick up the stamp. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and just tap the ink right there in the center of my butterfly. Now, right after you tap the ink, you can see how we have some sharp edges. So that's where the finger dauber comes in. If you just tap along that edge, it softens and will keep you from having any heavy dark lines. And I'm going to show you an example of that. There we go. All right, on my original here, I did it both ways so you could see. On this side, I used the finger dauber to soften it, but on this side, I did not. And see the heavy lines that I have between my layers? So that's why coming back with a finger dauber really helps, you know, just smooth that out so you don't get a sharp, heavy line. Okay, now my Catherine Pooler mini ink pads are brand new, and they are extremely juicy. So it's getting ink really heavy on there. There we go. All right, we're just gonna do that over and over today. Clean up my stamp. And we're going to move to the next color. And for this one, bring that down in this screen. Just going to pull that ink out a little bit further, making sure I kind of overlap the places. Oh boy, those ink pads are juicy. Tap just along the... Close that down. All right, I don't think I need to do this one a second time. It's juicy enough, and for that I'm going to switch here to my lightest color. And again, just kind of keep that. And each time I make sure I overlap just a little bit to where I had just stamped prior on my stamp, like where I put my ink, so that they overlap just a bit. And that gives it a nice blended look. Now you're really going to see how juicy this is. It's like, we're going to have to do, ooh boy, I like the blue. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to do that color one more time. Just out there on the ends. All right, so there is our blue ombre butterfly. Isn't that fun? All right, gonna go ahead and clean up my butterfly, but I'm not going to move my piece here with my butterfly on it. We're gonna do a couple more things to it before we move on. So I have gone ahead and pulled out one of my blender brushes, and with my lightest color, I'm going to add just a little bit of shadow around the edges, making sure to tap off there, but just to kind of bring some color in around my butterfly. And just a really soft, nothing heavy. I really like the way that softness just framed my butterfly. Now for these cards, I wanted to keep them all one layer and just keep it kind of more about the ombre stamping than anything else. But like I said, they do have dies that coordinate with these stamps, so you could easily die cut this and put it on like an embossed piece or, you know, pattern paper, different things like that, and get a similar look. But for this card, we kept it really simple. There we go. Didn't quite have enough on there. All right, so now that I have a little blue around the edges, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Thinking of You from the stamp set, and I'm going to center that right under our butterfly. Remembering to pick it up this time. And there we go. So tell me there in the chat, do you do very much ombre stamping, and do you like that look? And do you have a favorite stamp that you like doing the ombre? Another one of my favorite things to ombre besides the butterfly is an angel. I think angels look really pretty with the ombre stamping as well. All right, very simple but so effective. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. I put a piece of paper down just to, I don't like to have my stamp pad. I have like a sticky mat inside, and I don't like it discolored. That's just me. I kind of like it as tidy as I can keep it. So that's why I put this protective mat down. You can stamp, you can get ink right on those and wipe it, but it still kind of stains it a little bit. So I just put a piece of typing paper down and put a little repositionable tape here on my typing paper. All right, so quickly we're going to turn this one into a card. Got my card base and my frame, and I loved the butterfly there on the black mat. Really makes that pop. So this is a card that I think if you wanted to mass produce, you could make these in lots of colors and just do it over and over. Do that ombre. Okay, so that first one was just a little precursor. Now we're going to really ombre, because we're going to do a whole sheet. Get that centered on there. All right. You have a favorite? You like the blue or you like the orange? I can't pick. I like them both. I'm really liking that blue though. That's pretty. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is we're going to work with these smaller butterflies. And again, we'll use our 3 blue inks. And for this one, I've cut my paper size to just a 1/4 inch smaller. So it is 4, whoops, I'll move it over a bit. It is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to take my butterflies and kind of lay them out. And I'm purposely letting parts of them hang over the edge. And another thing I'm doing is turning them different directions. Like I don't want them all going the same way. So this one, I'm actually going to turn him kind of upside down. There we go. We'll start this way. All right, and I like to, whatever color I'm going to do this one, I do it the same way on the whole panel. Now, if you wanted to, you could use just one butterfly and stamp it in different colors all over. There's lots of options on this, but I think this one's going to be my green. So I'm just going to tap the center here with the green. This big one here is going to be my blue. And then this little one over here is going to be my teal. Whew. All right. Now we won't restamp these. You know, if doing this at home or doing it yourself, I would probably stamp each one a couple times. But since we're going to do 3 colors of ink on each one, I'm just going to give it one pass. And we're going to move on to our second color. Another thing I like to do is set my inks out in order, and that helps me, you know, keep them the way I want them, so I don't accidentally do the wrong color. All right, and the final color. Okay, now on the lightest color, it's not so important that you tap it. It's more those darker colors in the center where it really makes a difference whether you tap or not. Once you get it kind of overlapped, and there we go. Ooh, I like that. Look how pretty those are. Loving it. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and reposition and put this one about right here. Right there. And then this one is the one I'm going to turn upside down for down here. Okay. Going to do our ombre one more time, and then I'll show you a little trick for finishing out the look that you want on for the whole panel. All right, so this one is my green, so we'll start with that one again. Tap off. Now the blue. That blue one is so striking. I love those colors. And now the teal. No, don't move. Okay. Just press that down a little bit more. I don't want that to pull up. Okay. Now we're going to move to our medium color. Do you see how using the smaller ink pads makes this a little bit easier to do? Good morning, Leah. How are you today? And I just mostly want to tap off on this blue one because I can see that blue would leave a mark. The green I think we're okay on, and maybe the teal. There we go. All right. Just going to slide this in there to hold that down again. All right, now we're just going to finish it off with our last color. And for some reason I started with the blue, but like I said, the butterfly is one of my favorite things to do this technique with. I think when I see a butterfly stamped out in just one color, I miss the ombre. I almost always do a butterfly in this way. Look at that teal one. Isn't that pretty? All right. There we go. Oh, looky here. I got just a little bit of green on this one. Let's see. Where's that blue? Here we go. Just going to do that edge one more time because I got a little bit of green. That's okay. All right. So now that we're to this point, I'm going to go ahead and just clean my stamps again. Now, you might be able to see there's a few places where we want a little more color. So the way I do this is I'm going to take my smallest little butterfly here, and he's in the teal. So I'm going to take my lightest color, and I'm going to tap his wing right there in the teal. And now, just with my fingers, I'm going to add a little bit of teal. Just in those places where I feel like there would have been another one. Okay, we don't have too many of those places on this one. Although, maybe right over here, I'll put just a little tap of blue or green. Okay. And I don't even put it on a stamping block to do that. I literally hold it in my hand because I'm just doing a little spot of the lightest color to give that the appearance of being there we go. And I think that ought to do it. Yeah. All right, so there we go. I love them. All right, let's go ahead and we will get this one turned into a card. Now, this is where we're going to pull in our die set. Excuse me. Now, one thing with ombre, it really gets on your fingers. So, especially when your ink pads are brand new and very, very juicy. Okay, so I have gone ahead and die cut some pieces using our Fun with Words 2 stamp set. So, to get my little hugs, you die cut these two pieces together at the same time, and that's going to give you this nice hugs with the stitched outline. Now, I didn't want my letters to be white, so I have cut a piece of blue to mount right behind so that I can place this right on my card. Then I cut this die, which makes several stars and circles and just some little confetti, and I cut that out in black. And I did that 3 times, and I have saved my smaller pieces in there, and we're going to use that to decorate our card and to add some interest in some of the white spaces. And of course, you could use gems for this. You could use, there's just several ways that you could do this. You could even use a pen and draw them in. But since that die set came with that fun confetti die, I decided to use that to add the interest to our white spaces. Okay. Now, this might be a fun time to pop this up, but I wanted these cards to be totally flat and easily mailable. My mom likes them that way, and she's the one that sends most of my cards. So I decided to keep that flat instead of popping it up. And I just use the edge of my card with the edge of the stamp there to get that straight. If you have a T-ruler, of course, setting it on there is always a nice way to make sure you've got it straight. And now we're going to pull in our jewel picker. And I'm just going to add a few dots of glue. And we will add all right. And the way this makes confetti is it's really it makes lots of different sizes of stars and circles. So I'm doing my stars first. Got another large star here. Oops. I think I'll wait on that. Now I'm going to do the larger circles. My hair might be in the picture. Sorry about that. And there are some smaller stars as well. Let's see, I think I want another circle. There we go. Whoops. Well, not seeing, oh, there's one. I'm wanting a circle and all I see is stars. Normally it's the other way around. There, I miss it. All right, there we go. Now, you can see for this one, I did add quite a bit more of the black. And I do think I want just a few right in here. go. There we go. All right, so the last thing we have to do for this card is go ahead and mount that on our black frame. Now, I thought one fun technique that would be fun to do to these ombre cards before you add some stars is if you had a pierced cover plate, you could run this through a pierced cover plate and give it some texture. I thought that would be a fun idea. I didn't happen to have one of those on hand when I made these cards, so I didn't do that, but looking at them this morning, I thought, oh, that would have been a fun thing to do. All right, it's very hard to tell whether I like the warm colors or the cool colors. I like having cards like this on hand because they're just good for any occasion. If you need to, you know, just whether you're just saying hello to somebody, you know, sending a card that says hugs or thinking of you, they're just kind of all purpose, and you can have those on hand, and they're just a very useful one. Okay, there we go. That is our cards for today. If you have butterfly stamps in your stash, I hope you'll give this ombre technique a try. And if you don't have butterflies, definitely head over to the last chance section because you can pick up all three at a great price. Both the foil plates, the dies, and the stamp. You could get all three for just a fantastic price. They are 60% off, and they are in the last chance section. So I'm just going to bring that camera back. All right, well, thanks for joining me today. We had a bit of a quick one today. It's a quick little idea, but I am so thankful that you joined me, and I look forward to crafting with you again next week. We got some fun projects coming up, so I will see you later. Have a great one. Bye-bye.